Adventure by Sherwood. Winnisburg, a town of quiet streets and long afternoons. Here lived Alice, 27 years old, with eyes that held the distance of a story already begun, but paused. By day, she sold cloth and thread at Winnie's dry goods store. By night, she waited. The pausing began 11 years ago, in the glow of a kerosene lamp and the shared breath under the sycamores. A young man, Ned, filled her narrow world with a reckless, beautiful light. Their talk was all of a wide, unburdened future. On the night before he left for the city, the future condensed into a single moment. By Wine Creek, under a rising moon, they became lovers. "We will have to stick to each other now," he'd whispered. A promise whispered, a foundation built on moonlight and longing. Ned left for the city, where the lights were brighter, the buildings taller, and the promise of a city newspaper beckoned. The letters came at first, full of his loneliness and purpose, making the daily toil at the store a manageable kind of waiting. But the great city, vast and hungry, began to consume the memory of Winnisburg's quiet girl. The letters grew thin, then stopped still. Alice wept. She saved every nickel, a silent vow that became a fixed habit. "I'm his wife," she whispered to the empty shelves. The waiting became the shape of her life. She grew accustomed to the devices of the lonely, whispering unheard words into her pillow, kneeling to pray for a future she knew, deep down, might never arrive. She tried to reach out at church meeting, a silent walk with the drug clerk, but drew back. Years moved like the heavy, slow-turning looms her mother bought. One spring afternoon, her loneliness became unbearable. She walked up to the quiet woods where the young lovers sat, and from a shadowed nook, she felt, with a shiver, the irreversible passage of her youth. Dropping to her knees, the ritual of prayer gave way to the sound of protest. "It is not going to come to me," her first bold, terrible act of honesty. "I will never find happiness. Why do I tell myself lies?" A sense of cold, grim relief settled over the fear that had been her steady companion. At 27, a sharp, fierce restlessness took hold. It was not Ned she wanted anymore. It was simply love, an answer to the call that had grown into a demand inside her. She needed something definite from life, something that could not be cheated by quiet fantasies. Then came the night of the rain. Without thought, a sudden, mad desire, a flash of youth and courage long buried, sent her out onto the wet grass. She stood naked in the cold rain, feeling the forgotten wonder of her own body, and cried out to a stumbling figure in the distance. The man, old and deaf, could not hear. Alice dropped to the ground, terrified by her own low impulse, and crawled back inside. "I will do something dreadful if I am not careful," she thought, and turned her face to the wall to face bravely the fact that she would live and die alone.